I'm just setting up everything. Hi, everyone. Oh, and we are live. This is awesome. I'm so excited to be doing this live today because so much has changed in just 1 week. At least that's what I feel. I feel like I went to sleep in one country, woke up in a whole different new reality. So much has changed in just 1 week, not just for me, but for the whole country. It feels like it's a new dawn. It feels like, anyways, I digress. Okay, so for anyone who's tuning in, regardless of where you're watching from, hi, my name is Eva. I am an intuitive healer. I work with two modalities. One, which is based on working with Akashic Records, which is called Soul Element. And the second is called Quantum Flow, which is based on rewiring your nervous system. And I'm going to be explaining more of that at the end of this live. So if you're curious about how you can start truly tapping into healing yourself and releasing all those things, the limiting beliefs, the limiting patterns, the emotions, the thoughts, all those things that have been keeping you stuck and unable to move forward, these two modalities will be an amazing addition to your particular toolbox. Okay, so if you're curious about this, make sure you tune in until the end of the video. I'm going to be sharing more of what they are and how they can actually help you. Okay, so I want to start off by just saying where my mindset was at last weekend because so much has happened in just 1 week. Okay, like I said, it feels like it's a whole new world for me, a whole new reality. And each day I just wake up and I'm like, what happened? And I'm going to tell you what happened, okay? So, for anyone who's watching, maybe you might not be aware of what is currently happening in my country, which is Kenya, that there is a particular controversial bill, our finance bill, that's always voted on every year in June. But this particular year has brought a lot of controversy. Not that in the last few years there hasn't been controversy, but not as much as this one. Last year, we also had the same problem, but people just went along with it. Of course, there was a bit of protest against the bill, but eventually people just accepted whatever terms that was dictated to us, and it went back to the business as usual. But this year, this is something that has been discussed for the last month. People having discussions, sharing their views about how oppressive this particular financial bill would have been to so literally Kenyans from all walks of life, not just a certain few. It was everyone who was going to be heavily impacted if this particular bill went through. And those conversations have been going through. And to be honest, as of last weekend, I thought it was just business as usual, that people were just going to take it and adjust and accept it as, there's nothing much you can do. Now, last weekend on Saturday, I think I shared in my last live that I met up with a certain online group that I normally attend where we normally have discussions about various topics. But last Saturday, we intentionally decided that, you know what? Because each of us has seen the situation in the world, right? There is so much, it's chaos, right? It's a chaotic world. But that's how I felt last weekend. And it just felt like a lot of people have lost hope. A lot of people feel powerless to change the situation. It's you check online and everyone is just crying about how difficult the world has become all over, not just even for select few. In the majority of the countries, people are actually suffering. And what we did with the group is that we just wanted to meditate and put in our prayers our individual countries and anyone that we knew was struggling, and then the world, and just send the vibration of love and healing and all that, whatever energy that people need to tap into. And we did a group meditation, and literally it was just three people. So I'll only speak on my behalf because I'm the one who's noticed a huge change from that. Okay. And in no way am I saying that just because I happen to meditate and ask for, you know, love, peace, all of that in my country, that's the reason why this is happening. No, I'm not claiming that. All I can say is that I chose to do that and tap into having hope. And for some reason, my personal reality has changed because the kind of conversations people are having right now, we never used to have them before in my country. So I'm just gonna be anything that I say on this video, please don't take it like I'm speaking on behalf of a group of people. I'm speaking on behalf of me. I know that when I meditated on that Saturday, I honestly felt powerless and hopeless as well because I'm seeing the situation. We are all suffering in it, but I'm powerless to change it. But my power came from within me because I was like, you know what? Let's just meditate and send this vibration out into the quantum field. Remember, all of us are united. Even though a lot of people are unconscious of this, we are all one. And what unites us is that we are all from one source. It's only that when we come into this reality and then we start seeing the differences, in races, in country, in gender, all those kind of differences that we've had from the beginning of, I want to say, this universe that has led to all of us being so divided for such a long time, right? I literally, okay, so anyone who might not be aware of what is happening in my country currently, it's that I don't know how people just woke up on Tuesday of this week and just collectively decided that, you know what, we're going to raise our voices. This leaders are not hearing us because people have been saying, no, we don't want the state, do better. No one was listening. So collectively, it just started with one city, I think. That was on Tuesday. Nairobi woke up and people were on the streets demonstrating. And it's kind of like our spark was lit and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Everyone thought it was going to be business as usual, right? Everyone thought that, this will just die down in, just today. And then we go back to the usual. And it hasn't yet. And I want to talk about why I think that is happening right now. Because for me, I'm seeing like the underlying consciousness has changed. Before, we've been so divided as a country where it was one tribe against the other. It was one political class against the other. It was one social, economic, whatever group against the other. That those have been the stories that have been playing all along in my country for such a long time. And people could never really truly unite under one umbrella. I think the only time I saw that was in the last most oppressive time that we went through with the country where we all got up and we united and said that we needed to remove the leader at that time. And we did manage to do that. And it was a whole new dawn. It was so much prosperity. Like the economy literally improved until the division started again. We started divided along tribalistic lines, along political lines where it was one camp versus the other. And then the same underlying issues that have always been there came back. And now the country has been divided for such a long time. Remember, we went through the post-election violence, and that was actually the culmination of that. We've largely improved after that. But a lot of people lost their lives because of that. Because of the divide. Because it was one group versus the other. This time round, I would assume that a lot of people thought, okay, they're going to go back. They're going to forget everything. And that has not happened at all. And the reason why I'm so happy about this is this. It's the unity. It's the unity that has brought people together, where people have chosen to see beyond their differences, beyond their tribe, beyond their economic standing, beyond their careers, beyond their gender. Nothing like that. It's all united under one voice of we all want what is best for this country. And this, whatever bill that they wanted to pass through and force down on people's throats, that wasn't it. Everyone has banded together under one voice. We want this thing gone. We want to go do better as a country. For me, I think it's the unity that is actually bringing this revolution, I will say, or this movement that has kept it alive. Because before, remember, now last year we had the same protest, but last year, I want to say that the mistake that happened, the mistake that we've done for such a long time is the fact that there was chaos involved. It was people looting from businesses and destroying the property of innocent people who had nothing to do with anything. The everyday Jack and Jill, going about their businesses, they were the ones who were getting attacked by the so-called people who were trying to fight for the rights of Kenyans. So there was no unity in that case because all people wanted was the end of the chaos. There's no point of me going there and saying that I'm fighting for your rights, and then at the end of it all, I'm coming to destroy your business. And this is what I depend on to actually make a livelihood. So the minute that was introduced, that agenda could not succeed. This time round, the thing that I love that has been adopted by the entire country is that we are peacefully sharing our opinion. It is no longer about attacking each other because of our differences. It's no longer saying this narrative, because the narrative for such a long time in my country has been that it is the rich versus the poor. That has been scrapped off. Now everyone is saying we are one and we need to unite and speak with one voice. And for me, I honestly think that is what has made this movement get to the level that it has gotten to. Everyone thought that it was going to be a joke, but I don't think it's going to be. I really don't think so. And untying this to what we see in the world, okay? We've seen protests over the current war in Hamas, right? Where it's either you're supporting Israel or you're for Palestine. And both groups, justified in their anger, each of them will give you reason why they think that, they're right and the other group is wrong, right? And we've seen that play out over and over again. And guess what? The only thing that did was just cause more and more division, where you can actually see the camps. And people are going online and saying, if you don't support this, then you will. It's more chaos. There is never going to be a situation where you use gasoline to try and put out a fire. It's never going to happen. You want to put out the fire, you gotta tap into something different, something that can actually combat the fire, the water, the I'm not sure about what gas they normally use, but whatever that is, right? You gotta tap into an equal and greater opposite force to be able to create the results that you want. But you can't add more fuel into it and then expect the fire to end. It's never going to happen. So the more people tap into the energy of anger, of frustration, of hating on each other, of judgment, of you were wrong and you were this, and everyone wanting to prove right, guess what you're doing? You're just fueling that fire. You're not ending the fire. You're not putting out anything. Yes, be justified in your anger. Yes, be justified in your, conviction of this is what I believe to be right. We've done that as a collective, as humanity, for so many centuries. It's always been one religion over the other, one country over the other, one belief system over the other, like that. And it's all over. I don't think there's any country that we can actually visit where there is no division. We're always divided. And the reason for this is what has caused our external reality to be what it is right now. Because we can unite under one umbrella, and anyone who's there is only taking care of their self-interest, never looking at the collective of even if we succeed and win this, whatever it is, this war or this fight with this other group, then what happens as a collective? Remember that the thing that has made a lot of these causes fail is that We assume that just because we've won, then now things are going to be better. The only thing that does is that yes, we can use the anger to fight and all of that for each other and judge and rebuke and all of that and use force to try and change a situation. Here's what normally happens. Yes, you might succeed in that, but that's only an illusion. Okay, of course, the stronger side will always win, right? The one with the bigger weapons, the one with the bigger voice, the one with the bigger fans, right? They're the ones who are always gonna win because they're the strongest, right? And they win. Okay, go through the illusion of, oh, our side was the right one because we're the ones who won. No problem. What usually happens a couple of years later, you're back to the same problem because you haven't solved the underlying issue. Albert Einstein says that we cannot hope to solve a problem with the mind that created the same problem. We cannot offer a solution from the same point of view. That if we're still thinking the same, if we still have the same belief patterns, we still have the same habits, if we still have all those things that created the problem in the first place, guess what? Whatever solution you offer is gonna still be tied to that. So yes, it will be a temporary solution. It's always a temporary solution. That we're just gonna be dealing with the surface level wound, but not dealing with the underlying problem. And what happens is that yes, the band-aid, I always call this band-aid solutions, gonna hold, but not forever. At some point, it's gonna break off, and then that wound that has been festering gonna come back bigger and better. Have you ever seen like a wound that has not been dressed properly? Then the infection now starts spreading. So now maybe you will have put a little band-aid, but you haven't solved the problem from the inside. And by the time you get into that, it's too late. We've done that for millennia as a collective, even right now, right? And you go online, you always see it's people sharing their views of why they think that that other side is wrong and we are right and all of that. It's we play this out over and over again. And what does it do? It doesn't make that other whatever belief system that you don't believe in to go away. It only gives or feeds that energy and makes it stronger. So the only way to end this is you gotta tap into an equal and greater opposite force. For me, it's the love, it's the peace, it's the compassion. I heard someone say, and I wish I could remember where I had this from, but someone said that remember that the so-called, and I'm gonna put evil people because I don't believe they're evil if they're all from one source, which is God, and God can never be evil, right? Right? So I'm putting evil in quotes, right? It's the so-called evil people that have their own hidden agendas that have been running the world for such a long time and causing all of this chaos that we see. Remember, they wake up, they breathe, they eat, they talk, they live by their negative ways. So you cannot beat them at their own game. Remember, they've mastered the art of what it means to create the chaos. So if you think, right, you, wherever you are, that I can use my voice and even get even more angry and more chaotic in order to destroy that, we're never going to beat them at their own game. They've had years, centuries, millennia of doing this. So we have to be brighter with this. Gotta be different. And the only way to do that is that when we're doing it as a collective, it's not one person's fight. When one person succeeds, we all succeed. One person fails, yeah, we might not all feel the effects immediately, but eventually we're going to feel it. That's always the end result. Okay. So I will say that also part of that is the fact that, you know, and I wish I could remember what the phrase is that when they came for my neighbor, I didn't say anything. When they came for my teacher, I didn't say anything because at the end of the day, it didn't affect me. It's only when they came for me that I woke up and realized, oh my Lord, I should have said something. And this is where we are at as humanity, that for for the kind of consciousness that's been operating, with the divisiveness has been, as long as I'm not suffering, then I'm okay. But then you forget that the more and more we allow this energy, this negativity to keep on festering and festering, eventually it's going to come to your doorstep. Regardless of how protected you are, regardless of how safe you think you are and that you have everything, remember, taken care of, eventually it will come to your doorstep. And then what are you going to do? Everyone who would have helped you out is gone. And we really have to watch out for that. And again, the only way to do this is through togetherness. It's no longer taking care of our self-interest where I'm only gonna fight for my rights and then the rest of you can take care of yourself. I'm sorted, the rest of you are just, figure it out on your own. No. It has to be a collective kind of engagement. Okay. And this is the reason why I think this movement that is currently happening in my country has gotten to where it is right now. Because we let go of the differences that have kept us divided for so many years. We've let that go. And we're choosing to see beyond the age, the gender, the tribe again, the political divide, the social divide, all of that. We're choosing to see beyond that and realize that we are all suffering. And if we don't join up together, guess what? We don't know about tomorrow. And I love the fact that the so that's one of the things that I've really loved about this movement, the unity amongst all people. The second thing is that the compassion between each other. I love the fact that it's not like it's everyone who's out, you know, um, contributing by marching on the streets. That's not the case. The people who are actually doing this, they're each contributing in their own way. So they're the people who are lending their voices by bringing awareness to as many people as possible. So it's the videos that have been recorded, it's the social media that's being spread, everyone contributing in their own way. It's the kind of conversations we're having with each other. It's the people who wake up to go as early as 6 a.m. in the morning, whatever, wake up and go to the street and be attacked for that. It's the people who volunteer their services for these so-called protesters, the various factions. In case you're arrested, we have someone to come in. There is someone to come and do that and offer the services for free to get you out. If you're injured, we have the people who are the doctors who are volunteering the services to make sure that you're okay. And again, no one is sitting down and picking and choosing that, oh, we're only going to offer our services to this group of people because maybe you guys can afford, or maybe you guys are from the same. No, no, no. It's the fact that you're a Kenan, you were injured doing this, we got you. That has just, it's been such a beautiful thing to see. The reason why I bring this up is that for some people that you might judge yourself because maybe you're not able to do so much, right? Because what is expected is that we're all supposed to pick up the placards and all of that and march to that. And maybe you might be watching this and you don't have the ability to do that. Even regardless of which country you're watching it from, regardless of what community, I don't care. You might not have the ability to do that. But there is a way you can contribute individually to actually seeing change in the world. And that starts with the relationship, first of all, that you have with yourself. You gotta let go of all those limiting beliefs and patterns that we've been carrying with us for so many years. Literally, for some people, since birth. Gotta let go of all the stories, the anger, the frustration, the jealousy, the judgment between each other. It has to start on an individual basis if you want to see the external reality change. Most people usually forego or look down on the the individual development, the individual healing that each of us does, but it actually contributes to the collective whole. Can you imagine a world where everyone was working to better themselves, to be a better human being, to themselves and to the people around them? Do you really think that the world will not change if we actually took it down to an individual level? The thing that I also noticed with this current movement that has changed is that people are actually self-policing themselves. It's no longer about waiting for um, one person to be the rallying call of, gotta wake up and all of that. Yes, we have the individual, the so-called voices who are really, I want to say, helping to fund the movement. Remember, that's their talent, right? They're people who are gifted in that. But the minute they speak, because they've spoken, they're going to wake up a lot of people. I'm not by all means looking down on that. What I'm saying is that it's been an individual kind of like movement where it's not even there's no incentive to be doing whatever people are doing right now. There's no incentive. There's no one paying you. There's no one making you go. It's personal decision of, you know what? I'm tired of the state in my country. I'm gonna wake up and do what I can to make sure something changes. That's the level we're at. So even if the idea of self-interest come in with a certain group of people, as we've seen year in, year out, where you will start off as a collective unit where we're fighting for one voice, but then again, you descend into the chaos, into the violence and the fighting between each other, then that unity starts breaking apart and then enter people who are only fueled by their own self-interest, which is what we've seen with humanity, where it's only a select few that are only caring for their interests and not taking care of their humanity as a collective, right? So as long as their needs are met, that they're safe and they're all of that, then they think that, the rest of you can go take care of yourself. As long as there's always going to be that, we're going to keep on feeding that system over and over again. But the minute we let that go, and we start taking it on an individual basis, which is where I'm coming, that we cannot kill humanity as a collective. It's us individually, we're not doing the same for ourselves. So it's no longer about pointing fingers and saying that that leader didn't do this, that person didn't do this, you voted the wrong way, and all of that, and then bringing the end of the endless judgment and the shame and the guilt and all of that that we met on each other. It's no longer about that. It's taken now to an individual level that if that's the kind of world that I want to see going forward, how can I do that in my personal life and also with the people around me? A lot of people are still holding on to anger towards even the people around them, their families, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, not letting that go. And then you sit down and wonder, like, why is the world the way it is? You might think that just the little anger and the jealousy that you have with probably the person who's next to you doesn't make a difference, but it does. Because if each of us is doing that individually, guess what? We're still contributing to continuing with the same old patterns that have not served us for such a long time to humanity. That's your contribution. So we gotta take it individually, saying that, okay, I need to do better going forward. I don't like being a who wants to wake up in a world where they're getting oppressed or they're living a life that's just limited, right? No one wants that. We all want the same thing. We all want love. We all want peace. We all want to wake up and just feel that we're okay. Everyone wants that. I don't think anyone wakes up and just wants, war and all of that. Unless, of course, because there are select who thrive on that. Unless you're that, then that's different. But generally, everyone just wants their needs, their rights, just all of that just met. We're all united under that. The reason why we start to look down to each other is because we've been constantly fed that idea that this group is better than that group. And that story has been played out over and over again. And what this particular situation is showing me in my country, that the minute we let go of that and start seeing and tapping into what is uniting us, we can do so much, so much. Can you imagine a world where I'm no longer looking down on you because of whatever it is, whatever difference that I see between you and me? I'm not looking down on you because of that. We're just respecting you. That, hey, I know maybe you're supporting something that I don't normally do or I don't normally like. I respect that. But can we find a way to work together so that we create a better experience for all of humanity, not just the select few, but everyone? A system where everyone is thriving, not just a select few, but everyone. Where if I succeed, we succeed. If you fail, I fail. Can we actually start embodying that? Even with the people that we're around with. Like even I will say that you've heard of this term, toxic and work environments, right? So what happens? Why on earth would you have a toxic environment if all of you are actually taking that individual responsibility that I'm gonna love you and treat you just the same way that I want to be treated, right? Because who wants to wake up and frustrate you and deny you your rights, right? No one wants that. So if you don't want that for yourself, why would you do that to another person? So it has to start on an individual basis because remember, it's that consciousness, that hatred, the jealousy, the judgment that has created the kind of chaos we're seeing in the world right now. But the minute we start letting go of that, then whatever solutions we come up with are actually going to endure. It won't be a one time thing. And then in the next 10 years, we're back where we started from, which again, we've seen it over and over again, where it's even whatever country it is, right? That we're fighting the good cause, right? But then you get to the end, you probably again the stronger side wins, and then even after they win, people realize that, oh no, we just replaced one problem with another problem. And this is what happens with karma, right? That you might think that you're running away from your problems, that, oh no, I'm gonna get rid of probably my spouse or my partner or whatever, because I don't think that they're treating me right and all of that. And then you usually end up attracting the same person in just a different body, if not worse. The more we keep on running away from that and using band-aid solutions to solve this, the more and more we'll keep on recreating the same pattern. But the minute we say, you know what, hold on, I'm taking responsibility of how I have created this situation. I have to do better, which means that all those things that they used to attract me so much to this partner or this type of person, I'm gonna start breaking down those patterns. Why am I liking this person? Why have I been attracting this kind of people? And really tapping into bringing awareness to that and bringing healing to whatever patterns created that particular habit. Okay. So the minute you start doing that, then you find that now that you're no longer running away, now that you're willing to face the situation and do something about it, now going forward, it means that even the level of relationship that you attract going forward, they're going to be different because you've addressed the root cause of the experience that you've been having. But as long as it's you're using the same consciousness, the same anger, the same judgment, and all of that to fuel your fight against another person, creating more and more division, yes, you will arrive at a solution eventually, but that problem will continue festering on. So for me, honestly, I'm just so proud of the unity, the love, the togetherness, the working together of the different functions, right? Like it's crazy. And I'm honestly so grateful to be able to witness this. Remember that it only takes a few people to actually show you that it is possible. And whatever is happening right now, it didn't even start with a lot of people. Just started off with a few, but they lit up a fire. They lit that match and had the courage to stand up and say, gotta do different. And then boom, that has just kept on going bigger and stronger. And for my prayer is that we are going to keep this going as for eternity. And not just for me, but for the whole of humanity. If a lot of people actually started doing this, I'm honestly looking forward to living in that kind of world because that's gonna be a world. It's gonna be incredible. I don't know. Anyway, that's been my dream for such a long time. For people to come together, to look past the differences that we see on the physical side. Guess what? You get to leave all of this physical things on this world when you transition. You don't carry your gender, your age, your country, or your race when you transition to the other side. You leave all of that behind. But this is the attachment that we've grown to that, if I'm not holding on to my race and all of that, then who am I? Like, you gotta let that go. That's not who you are. You're way more than that. And the more and more people actually remember who they actually are, remember you're a spirit just having a physical experience, right? You're a soul having a physical experience. Your soul is who you are. It's not this physical side. Then, once we let go of that and start remembering why we all came here, us does not belong to just a select few, it belongs to all, right? And the reason why we're so different is that each of us is here to create to the collective experience, right? So it's no longer about just one way being the right way. If that was the case, then we simply will not be existing with all this diversity that's there. We'd all be singing the same song, all looking the same, no differences in each other. But the very fact that there are so many ways that exist proves that there is a purpose behind that. That doesn't happen by chance, right? There's a reason behind that. All of us are meant to contribute to whatever experience that our spirits desire to learn as a collective, right? That's the reason why we're all on this planet together, because we're here to learn the lesson of, you know, how can we coexist even with our physical differences? How can we plan to come together and look beyond that so that the whole collective, the whole humanity can thrive as a whole? So again, us belongs to all of us, and we have to find a way to look past our differences if we have any chance of getting us into thriving mode, not the survival mode that we've been operating on. For me, how I'm choosing to contribute to this is that, again, individually, because it comes back to you as an individual, it's that I'm going to contribute to holding the vibration of love and peace everywhere I go. That's the energy, that's the vibration I want to see, because that's the world I want to see, where we're all working together. So I'm going to do that on an individual basis. We're choosing to do as the group that I told you about, that we sat down and meditated the last weekend. We want to do more of that. So can you imagine what would happen if millions of people united just to send out the vibration of love? We actually don't need many, just a few, literally. And let's see what that does for the world. We've done the anger, we've done the judgment, we've done the jealousy thing for such a long time. Let's try this and see what we can create. I know personally, even from my own experience, anytime someone angered me and I gave into the anger, regardless of whether I was justified to be angry with it or not, the only thing that did is just fueled or made that situation even worse. We are no longer talking, we can't even be in the same space and all of that. Personally, that's what I've experienced. But the minute I chose to let go of the ego and the anger and whatever it was that was fueling that and chose to just send this person love, literally without even me lifting a finger, that person just starts shifting because I've changed who I am on the inside. The world, my external reality has to match who I am on the inside. But as long as I'm still giving into the anger and the negative emotions fueling that, it will keep making that situation worse and worse. So if I wanted to see something different, I had to just love and forgive this person. And the more I do that, honestly, I witness miracles happen for me each and every time I do that, which to me proves that the vibration of love will always, always, always overpower any kind of negativity that is in that equation. Love is one of the strongest emotions that we have. And the more and more people do that, literally, people think that the world cannot change just like that. If this situation in my country is anything to go by, and I'm praying that it continues as it is right now, that this actually proves that what is actually possible once we all just come together under one banner. Okay. So I'm gonna end that here. I want to hear your experiences with this. What are your opinions on this? Like, why do you think that if you're watching this from Kenya, why do you think that this movement has gotten to the level it has. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And also, how are you going to start contributing to this on an individual basis? Who are you going to start forgiving, and how are you going to start releasing the jealousy and the judgment that you might have held for not just for other people, but even for yourself? Because again, remember, it starts with the relationship you have with yourself. You can't give to another what you don't have inside. So how are you going to do it on an individual basis? I'd love to hear from you. So make sure you comment down below if you have your thoughts on this. Remember, I said this is my perspective. So I would love to have this kind of conversation on how we can get this moving forward and see a better world going forward right now. Not one based on war and one side versus the other side and hatred for each other and judgment. Gotta let that go. It's never gonna work, ever. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on this. And if you do like the kind of content I share out here, make sure that you do support my channel by liking and subscribing and making sure that you click on the notification box so that you don't miss out on any time I go live. I always go live on my page around this time. So make sure you join me next time. If you happen to be available at this time, and I'd love to have a conversation with you as, you know, life moves on. Okay, so I did promise that I was going to share how the two modalities I work with. Remember, I said I'm an intuitive healer. I do work with two modalities. One, which is the Akashic Records, which is soul element. It's called soul element, which is all about getting to the root. Who are you actually, right? Remember, we live in a world where information, Adriel, you can get access to so much news and information and things being thrown at you about who you're supposed to be, and without no knowledge of who you actually are, you can get lost in them. Remember that what you can do, I can do, because we are not gifted in the same way. And with no awareness of what unique abilities and what unique gifts that you have to contribute to the world, a lot of people get lost, right? You lose yourself in the process of trying to be something that you're not. And the only thing that does is that it just creates more dysfunction in your reality. Okay, so what soul element does is that it helps you connect to who you are at a soul level. That's one. Helping you identify your unique abilities. What are you supposed, what unique gifts that you do you have to contribute to the world? The thing that I've loved about this movement is the fact that everyone has contributed what they could, right? The lawyers share their services, the medics share the services, the people who could do the online platform, the voices and all of that, lending their opinions, all of this. This is what has really helped that the collection of the different talents and abilities coming together under one umbrella. If you want to know what unique gifts you are, remember that you can probably not do what another person can do if that is not your gift. So, what are your gifts? This is what sober element does. Helps you identify your gifts and helps you also identify and explain why have certain patterns, certain recurring patterns been happening in your life. Remember that a lot of the experiences that you've had in this lifetime have nothing to do with this current lifetime. They're connected to who you are in a past life. And we keep on reincarnating and creating the same experiences, the same kind of attracting the same kind of people over and over again in an effort for you to help to resolve that negative karmic experience that you took on yourself based on the negative choices you made in your past life and that you're still making right now. Most people with no awareness of what those choices are, they keep on repeating the same mistakes again and again and again and creating the same circumstances and the same patterns in their life. So if you've experienced the same recurring themes in your life, right, that your relationships are always affected, your health is always affected, like there's always something coming up and it's the same thing over and over again, chances are this is actually tied to a particular past life that you're still making the same choices that you made in that lifetime. So what soul element does is that it helps you connect to whatever choices, whatever soul story got you started in that particular lifetime that you're still repeating right now. And then at the end of the reading, you get to clear all this negative karmic um, imprints in your blueprint so that now going forward, you're no longer an energetic match to these experiences and these people and these themes that you've been attracting over and over again. But now going forward, based on the awareness of who you actually are, And that empowerment, that knowledge of the choices and the mistakes that you made, faced with that awareness, now going forward, you get to make new and better choices, right? And creating a better experience for yourself. So that's basically so relevant. If you want to know more about this, you can connect with me down below, connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. You can DM me and ask any question you have of me. Or if you want to go ahead and just book a quick discovery call with me and ask any question that you might have just to see if solar element will be a fit for you or not, you can also go ahead and do that. And hopefully I will get to see on the other side. If at all you've had this and you're like, yes, this is for me, then you can also book a solar element session with me. And again, I hope I will see you on the other side. The second modality I do work with is called quantum flow. So quantum flow actually uses breathwork, sound, and movement to help rewire your nervous system. So what most people don't know is that a lot of the trauma, emotional wounds, and negative emotions, all of that that we've experienced all the way from your birth up to now, all of it, the memory of that is usually stuck within your nervous system, within your unconscious mind. And what that does is that how you show up in the world is always connected to who you've been in the past, right? So remember that if you went through a particular trauma, like maybe when you were a child, and then you keep on facing the same trauma, probably not under the same kind of circumstances, probably with different people, right? But touching on that emotional wound that was created within your body, and you keep reacting the same way over and over again, that creates certain blockages within your nervous system. And blockages means that the energy that you are made of, remember you're made of 99.99% energy, that energy that's supposed to be getting you flowing through your body with ease and grace and helping you show up better and better in the world, right? If that energy is stuck and unable to move the way it's supposed to move based on this blockages created by your past trauma, guess what? It creates again affects your well-being in different areas of your life, your physical, your mental, your emotional well-being. If you've ever found yourself having an overblown reaction to a very small slight, remember you've seen cases of where people have just blown up over someone just stealing as just like a dollar or 10 shillings from them, like this little thing, and someone has just blown up. There's a reason behind that. It's usually connected to whatever trauma that you've been carrying with you from a very young age. So if you've been suffering with that, maybe you're struggling with your mental health, your emotional well-being, you're struggling even with your creativity, your ability to work, your productivity, and all of that. Quantum flow can actually help you with that and so much more. What quantum flow does is that it actually works on different areas of your being. So we're not just focusing on the mind thing, right? We're actually helping to combine both the body and the mind in your healing journey. And what that does is that it accelerates your healing process because something that will take you like probably a couple of years to figure out or release with your mind, the very fact that you're now using your body, right? Rewiring also your body in this process, it accelerates the releasing of all those old emotional wounds or the old trauma that you've been carrying for years and years. So if you're curious about this, you want to know more, you can actually check out or get to experience what quantum flow is with a free meditation that I have for you down below. So check in the description box. You can download, get access to that, and just start with that just to have a feel of what quantum flow is. If you want to go further with this, maybe you have more questions on this. Again, connect with me on Facebook or Instagram, ask any questions you have of me, or book a discovery call so that you can actually see if this is a fit for you or not. Again, I hope I will get to see you on the other side and have better discussions about this and how we can actually help to heal humanity as a collective. And by the way, we've decided as the group that I was telling you about that we're actually going to hold another group meditation. So if you're actually able to join in, I'll see if I'll be able to post a link to that on my YouTube video. We're gonna meet the next Saturday. Okay, so today is 24th of um I'm actually supposed to be doing this on 23rd, okay? So next Saturday, hold up, let me actually check my calendar to see when next Saturday is so that regardless of when you're tuning in, you don't get lost and think that it is next Saturday and probably you're watching this years from now, okay? So let me get the exact date. Hold up. This is gonna be good. And apparently I'm not able to access my calendar for some reason, okay? But hold up, let me check online calendar. No, online calendar. So that I get you the exact date and maybe you can join in and meditate with us for peace, for love, for unity in the world. And let's see what we're actually able to create as a collective together. Remember, it's not just about one person in this fight, it has to be all of us doing this. So it's actually on the 30th. Oh, end of month. That's going to be, no, on the 29th, sorry, 29th of June. We're going to be meeting to meditate, right? And at, I think, 11 a.m. EST, I'm going to post the link to that later on in my community post. So look out for that if you're watching this video. Okay, so for now, sending you so much love, and I will hope to see you next. Okay. Bye for now. Wishing you an amazing week filled with love, with peace. Please make sure that you're starting to actually embody those qualities that you want to see in the world within yourself. So it's no longer about waiting for the world to change so that you can change. You have to start with yourself, that we can actually start creating a better world for each other.